In this review, I'm going to talk about the BlackHawk Offset Flashlight rail mount, model number 71RM01BK. This is the package this ships in. This is also an item I picked up on clearance from Palmetto State Armory. They were blowing these out for $5. They list the compatibility of this mount with 1-inch bodied flashlights. It is constructed of 6061 T6 aluminum with a Type 3 hard coat anodized finish, and the weight is approximately 1.5 ounces. I think at $5 this is a great buy for this type of flashlight mount. Let's take a look at what's in the package. We've got an individually packaged rail, and we've got a Torx wrench, an Allen wrench, two short Torx bolts, one long hex bolt, and then of course the BlackHawk mount here. The finish on this, aside from the BlackHawk logo, there's nothing else on here. The finish is very nice. The black is very consistent. I did compare this to a couple different uppers and lowers and barrels. The color is spot on. It was also spot on to the coloring of Troy Industry rails. The color is good, the fit and finish, the construction is good, very well made for this type of a mount. And the clamping mechanism here goes on like so, and then you would tighten it down. Okay, like so. This Allen bolt right here would accept a flat blade screwdriver, maybe a shell casing to tighten this up. You'll also notice it is almost completely flush, and that's one thing I really like with these types of items. What I don't like are big nuts, or big wing nuts or bolts or knurled nuts and things of that nature that stick out. I like things that are flush. Although this would require a tool, I believe it does stick out enough. You can get a shell casing in there or a penny or a dime and tighten or loosen that if necessary. So good design here. You'll also notice that this piece right here runs the entire length of the mount, so you get full clamping force. It's not just a little small teeny section. If you've watched some of my other videos, you've heard me complain about that you know, this is a better type design. And you can mount this on your top of your rail, and you can see that it's kind of recessed right here. I do believe, with the limited amount of playing around with this I've done, depending upon what type of sight and the tube diameter of the sight, you could actually tuck this underneath your sight. So let's say the mount of your sight is about this big, and then the tube comes from here to here. You could actually kind of tuck this underneath the tube, and I do believe that's why that is rounded right there. So that's a really great design from what I can tell at this point. You can also mount this on a side rail, and you can go in this direction, or you can flip it and go this direction. Normally I'll run it on the side rail, and I'll run it up like this. That way my thumb's got easy access to the flashlight. So these other bolts, they look like grade 8 bolts from what I can tell. In other words, high quality bolts. The threads on these are good. And they tighten down well, no problem there. Now, The one thing I will note though, the inside diameter here is listed as 1 inch, and for reference, this PolyTac C4, the inside diameter here is listed as 1 inch as well. This will not go on here, it moves around. What would be beneficial for this type of a mount is if it came with a reducer ring. A lot of these types of light mounts come with a little plastic reducer ring, which is a small round piece of plastic that's the same shape that fits inside here. That allows you to clamp down on flashlights that may not be exactly 1 inch. So since I don't have a caliper here, I don't know if which one of these is smaller than 1 inch. This fully clamped down should clamp down on a 1 inch flashlight, so I'm suspecting that this PolyTac here is a little less than 1 inch. But all is not lost with this PolyTac, because I can slip the end of the push button cap into this mount, which of course I can't do with that bolt tightened down. And this may be applicable on your flashlight as well if you were using this type of mount. It's hard to say, it just depends on the dimensions of the flashlight. But with this Streamlight PolyTac, you can see that this slides in, and I can actually torque this down, and of course I can still unscrew the body of the flashlight from this mount to replace the batteries, or you could just remove the end cap to replace the batteries. I guess it doesn't make any difference. But I'm going to try mounting this like this and see how well this works, because this is the only option for using this BlackHawk mount with this Streamlight. But anyway, I already did a review on the Streamlight, so I don't want to digress from talking about the BlackHawk mount that much. Both of these screws go in. Got a little bit of grinding noise, which could be the screws just torquing down over the anodized finish of the threads. Not a problem there. They go down, tightens down well. Very nice. And for $5, this sure beats a lot of the Chinese junk that I've come across in that price range. A lot of those mounts are really poorly made. This BlackHawk, like most all the BlackHawk components I've come across, their stocks and their lower parts kits and so on, are all fairly well made. I know I am quite impressed with the quality you get out of a BlackHawk component for its price point. It's definitely not the best on the market, but it definitely gets the job done. And it looks like they definitely put some thought into designing this particular light mount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and mount this on a rifle and do a little bit of video with it mounted on a rifle, kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. I can't really do that on my review table here. It's just not big enough to hold a full-size rifle, and so I'm going to have to do that someplace else. Okay, I've installed the BlackHawk flashlight mount and the Streamlight PolyTac onto one of my rifles, and I've already got a 3-inch rail section at the 9 o'clock position for the other light I run on this rifle. With the positioning of my hand and the positioning of the forward grip, I've got easy access to the buttons, so it works out good. I could always, move the rail closer to the forward grip if necessary. So I don't think the fact that the BlackHawk is only clamping onto the actual end cap is problematic. So this is kind of what it looks like, and definitely is usable.